How's it going today, people of the internet? Today is Sunday here on Vlogging Life, and we have our day cut out for us today. We got lots of stuff to do. It is currently, ignore the time on the freaking stove because yesterday was spring ahead, but it is currently 10:46, not 9:46. I already did a part of my work. I gotta figure out how to set this clock on this thing. There we go. So let's just change this to 10:46 because, well, there, 10:46. Spring ahead last night, so basically I lost an hour's sleep, but I feel great, so who cares? I got up at, would have been 8 o'clock, but it was actually, I guess, 9 o'clock, which is my usual wake up time. Even with spring ahead, my body doesn't care. Today though, we got dem bones to boil and turn into bone broth. So excited to do this, guys. It's all I kept talking about last night. I think Joss was getting sick and tired of hearing it. No, I'm kidding. She's basically, she wants to see how well it turns out too. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm getting my big pot. So I got something to boil them bones in. Yeah, she wants to see how it is because she's got an Instant Pot too. And a common trend with the Instant Pot owners, and this is kind of a weird one, they buy the damn thing. And Joss, I'm sorry for throwing you under the bus, but I'm gonna do it. They're afraid of them. People are actually afraid of Instant Pots. And I never understood why. And I've never had that experience because this is the first pressure cooker I've ever used. Mom and Dad never owned one when I was a kid. They still don't own one. They don't know how awesome pressure cooked beef is because it just literally falls apart. You don't even need to cut it. You can just take 2 forks and shred it into shit and then have at her. And the juice you get out of it is just phenomenal for making stock with and gravy. So, but they never actually had one. So I've never had that fear. All I know is people on YouTube use them. And they make awesome meals. And I'm like, you know what? I want to live that life. So I got me a pressure cooker. But some people are petrified of it. Like, I have a friend out in England. She bought one. And still has yet to use it because she's afraid of it blowing up on her. The only thing I'm afraid of with my Instant Pot is when I open that release valve. Because the steam that comes out of there is like the lava from a volcano. It'll just melt your flesh right off. So I use a wooden spoon and tap it. Alright guys, I got dem bones in here. This is just one of the bags. Gonna do the other bag, but it was bigger, so we might have to do 2 batches of this shit. We'll let this here boil, bring it to a boil for 20 minutes. So we'll bring it to a boil in 20 minutes. We'll take it off, and then we'll transfer the bones out of here onto this cookie sheet, which will go into the oven. I'm gonna start preheating this oven. Bake, get it to 400, and bake. And we'll let this preheat. I got nothing in here. We're good. Okay, so we'll let this here preheat. And then once we get that said and done, we should be good. Should be able to bake it. I'm gonna get the Instant Pot out and armed and ready to go. So I had a friend say to me on Facebook, like I mentioned, I'm officially down 100 pounds. Like, check this out. Now keep in mind, that there's with clothes on. Without clothes on, which is the way I measured myself in the beginning, well, my pajamas, I was 242 pounds in my pajamas. Right now I'm wearing jeans and the same shirt as yesterday because, well, it's Sunday, I'm not going anywhere. I don't care if I smell like the business end of a skunk. Today is a day of doing cleaning. I gotta run the laundry there too today. Today's a day of cleaning and cooking and getting ready for Wednesday to break this son of a bitch and fast. So Wednesday, as soon as I get home from work, guys. As soon as I get home from work, we're gonna make some bulletproof bone broth and we're gonna crack this fast and it's gonna be freaking glorious. But I am so stoked. I tell my friend what I'm doing and he watches the vlogs and he goes, yeah, but you're cheating to lose weight. And I'm like, what? What do you mean I'm cheating? He goes, well, fasting doesn't count as weight loss. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, it does. It's a body cleanse. Like, I finally hit my goal. And he's like, oh, you'll just gain all that back the moment you start your bad habits again. And it's like, well, no, that's not what's gonna happen, because even when I had bad habits of like going out for a cheat meal or something, I docked those calories and made sure that what I ate at the restaurants wasn't something like garbage carbs and stuff like that. So that's why I was holding 242, is because I was staying within calorie deficit. Who's a kitty? Oh, yeah, mouse. But he's like, oh, anybody can do that. Anybody can just fast and lose weight and say they're losing weight. He goes, that's not safe. And I said, oh yeah, anybody can do it? And he goes, yeah, and I said, do it. He's like, what? I'm like, do it. If you think it's so easy to have, every time you go to grab ice, you see this delicious rack of steaks, these freaking berries back here, this roast here, all that vegetables back there. And then you open up your fridge and what do you see? You see cheese, you see eggs, you see bacon. And it's like every time I open the fridge, every time I open the freezer, I'm reminded that I do have stuff to eat. Not much, but I do have stuff to eat. You try and do that when you're starving, because that's the term I'm gonna use when the hunger pains kick in. It's like a starving pain. You try and do that when you're starving and resist the urge to actually eat for the greater good, because you want to cleanse your body out of all damaged, mutated, and foreign cells. If you can do that 5 days, I'd be impressed. Because let me tell you, it takes a lot of willpower to do what I'm doing right now. Like a lot of willpower. It's not something you can just be like, well, I'm gonna fast. Let's do a fast. And then you do one. It takes a lot of will. Like I said on Friday, I almost caved. I was like so done with the whole idea of doing this 10-day fast. But I realized for the greater good, it's better off to do one. And if you don't believe me that it's hard, well, that's fine. That's your own thing. But I can tell you right now, it's not a walk in the park. It's very, 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 very difficult. Especially when you're working in an environment where people bring their lunch into work and they're eating right in front of you and you're seeing this. And you're just like, now your brain goes into overdrive, right? This is what happens in your mental state. You're smelling all these delicious foods and your brain starts going, you know what? There's a cafeteria downstairs. There's a store around the corner. There's a restaurant across the street. Whatever the case may be. You could easily run across there and grab yourself a burger. Grab yourself a slab of pizza. You know, grab yourself a puts in, Gaulius. You could easily do that. It's having that willpower to not do that. That's what a lot of people don't have. And I almost broke the fast on Friday. Joss even messaged me and said, so what'd you end up breaking your fast with? And I said, I didn't. She's like, oh? She's like, you're still doing it? I'm like, oh yeah. She's like, oh, you sounded like you were gonna break it. I said, oh, I felt like it. After Friday was a rough day. Friday was a bad day. I don't know what it was, but just everything. Everybody was negative. Everything was bad. It was rubbing off on me. So that wasn't a good time. And because of this, I wanted food. Because that's what happens. You get into a negative environment and the leptin and ghrelin kick in, causing hunger pains. Because your body knows if it eats, it's happy. And that's what it wants. So it wasn't until I got home, had the salt water, and that cured my hunger. And then Friday night, I didn't want to go out. I really didn't want to. I mentioned that in the morning that I really didn't want to, but I was gonna do it anyway. Plans fell through and I was like, sweet, I'm just gonna stay home tonight and get to bed at a decent hour. And then hopefully all this negativity just washes over me and tomorrow's a better day. And tomorrow was a better day. Anyway, the list of things I gotta do today. Number 1, make bone broth. Number 2, do the laundry. Number 3, fix Rex's computer so that he can start editing and uploading videos again. Number 4, which is already done, edit the video from last night off the Canon camera. I was able to save a lot of the video. There was a lot of problems with the video, I'm not gonna lie. Between that camera and acting up, as in having a overheat issue during Joss's performance, of all performances. It just basically only having a 10-minute write time and the comics going in like 12 minutes, 13 minutes, which is surprising because they were all, and this is what I found funny, they were all saying that they couldn't hear the audience's reactions to their jokes. But you could hear the audience reactions to the jokes on my camera. So this was an issue for them. Well, a comic, you know, if they're telling a joke and they don't get laughter, well, they get this idea that they bombed. And I get that completely. But the camera's picking up the laughter, so it's kind of funny because one guy starts talking about how the crowd's dead, but the crowd was active on the camera. So when you guys get to that point and you're like, well, no, I can hear the crowd in the background. What the hell is this guy complaining about? On the stage, they couldn't hear the crowd because they're too far back and the tables weren't set up properly. That was the issue. Anyway, so that's my plan for today, is fix Rex's computer because he installed Windows 10 on it. It's an old computer and there's like no driver support for like anything. So like the hard drive's having access problems, the video card's not even loaded in. Sound don't work either. Oh no, sound, everything works. Sorry, it's running really shit. And that's because that model of computer wasn't Windows 10 compliant. Just like my old Dell 7520, the Inspiron 7520, it's running Windows 7. Theoretically it came with 8.1, but it has no support for Windows 10 and never will because it has one of those stupid video cards that's shared. If I were to put Windows 10 on it, the AMD Radeon, that was dangerous, 7730, wouldn't work anymore because you need Windows 7 or 8.1 to use the shared graphics. But anyway, these sound like they're boiling. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Getting that froth. So we got bones in the fridge to do another batch too, so Maybe we'll bang out 2 batches today, make a lot of it, because even after I break the fast, I plan on drinking it, because apparently this stuff is super tasty. Super, super tasty. Right, stupid? Yeah, you're right. You're stupid. Your face. You're a dummy. All over. Also, this bottle came in clutch. Oh, check it out. It's a 22-ounce bottle. I never even noticed this until now. It tells you how many milliliters it is and how many ounces. So there you go. That's pretty sweet. All right, guys, you see that froth on the top? That's what you're looking for. So we'll go ahead and turn that off. And we're going to extract the bones. I'm just going to use a pair of tongs here. And we'll try and get the bones out and put them onto this. Oh, the smells right now. Talk about engaging the hunger hormones. Probably would be easier to do this if I drain the water out, but oh, there's a good one. So into the oven they go to bake for 20 minutes. And we got a timer on the old Fitbit going. Sweetness. Alright guys, we're basically done, so I'm going to turn off the oven here. Take out our bones, put them in the crock pot. By crock pot, I mean this thing. Get it in there. Once you got your bones in, some people will go as far as adding vegetables like carrots and celery and spinach and bay leaves and all sorts of different nonsense to this mixture to give the vitamin. I just want the broth. So now what we need to do is fill the water up to the max, which is right there. Right there. Go ahead and do that. There we go. 3 liters of water inside of this crock pot. We are sitting right at the max line. I'm gonna turn this just to show you guys instead of turning the camera upside down. So we are sitting, where is that? It's right there. We're sitting right at the max line. We are good to go. What I'm gonna do now is just make sure the vent is set to sealed, because we do not want to vent this deliciousness. Then down here on the control panel, we're going to go to manual. Where the hell's the manual button? I don't have a manual button. Okay, well, let's just do a pressure cook 4. And we want to go, let's see if this goes by minutes. Okay, so it goes by hours. We want to go for 3 hours. You know what? I might take it up higher. Let's take it to 4 hours. And pressure level's good. And let it do its thing. If you're wondering what I'm doing laundry. Also, I bought these jars a while back for something. I can't remember what the project was, but I bought them and I decided I'm gonna use them for this. So this, holy, calm down. So this batch should consume about 6 of these jars. 1 jar is good for 4 servings. So that's 24 servings of nonsense. This just in, I think I need a new washing machine. See at the bottom of the door, there's black on one side and sunlight coming through on the other side? That's because there's a puppy or a kitten there. Take your puppy! Alright, been having some problems with the Instant Pot lately, and I just want to come make sure it's not doing the same thing as it did before. Okay, good. No, it's still going. And the pressure is engaged. We're locked in. 3 hours to go, boys. Then it's bone broth time. What? Alright, time to take the clothes out of there and stove them in there. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to get the contents of this into the jars. What I was thinking was, I got this like fine mesh thing up here. I was going to sit it on the jar, like once the lid's open, and then pour the contents using a measuring cup. I got a glass one that I want to use, directly through the mesh. And that way there it'll sift out any garbage. So I was chatting to with a friend online who does this, and she does it with a crock pot. Now with a crock pot, it takes a hell of a lot longer. She said it takes her about anywhere from 12 to 16 hours to produce her broth. And when I told her I was going to do it in 3 hours, but I decided 4 hours, she said the longer you leave it, the better it gets. The more collagen that gets extracted from the bones, just overall the better everything will get. So I figured, you know what, let's go ahead and leave it in for 4 hours, blast the ever-loving piss out of it, jar it, and then we'll have it for Wednesday when we get off work. Should be awesome. And then Thursday's half day freaking Thursday, so we can come home, have some bone broth, have some more bone broth, have some more bone broth, get the digestive system completely up to par, so that Friday morning we can wake up and maybe have some eggs and bacon, and then Friday night we can go to Joss's house for dinner and cake. Should be awesome! So I was gonna work on Rex's laptop today, but the problem is he's got this thing locked with codes, and he never gave me the code. So I don't know what it is. It's like these are like bomb codes or something. Set us up the bomb. So I texted him asking him what the codes are, but he's probably sleeping because, well, frig, it's he got off work, so I don't know what's going on. Oh well, if I have to fix it tomorrow, I gotta fix it tomorrow. He's in no rush. He's been without that computer for a while, so I'm sure he's not in any hurry to get it back. He'll get back to me when he does. I need more water. Like, I know I'm not supposed to work out on this fast, but the plow just came by 3 times since I've been up. I bet you the end of the driveway has a mound. We got an hour 53 left on the Instant Pot. I'm gonna do myself a solid and go out there and clear the end of the driveway before tomorrow becomes a real epidemic and I'm not able to get out of my house. Okay, it wasn't as bad as I anticipated. It was a lot less out there than I thought. For this video here, guys, I was actually debating. I found that thing I was looking for, the thing that killed the GoPro Hero 4 and caused me to have to fix it. And that thing I'm referring to is right here. Basically, it allows you to attach this here like a handle bike bar or anything round. And what killed the GoPro was I attached it to the weed whacker, and because it's not a sealed unit like the GoPro Mini or Session, it basically got plugged, and well, the data port wasn't working, and it took me a while to get it all cleaned out and had to fix it. And pain in the arse. Anyway, I need water. So I got into Rex's briefcase. Turns out the code was 000. He's actually never said it. And when I opened it, well, honestly, what I see is I would never guess this is Rex's laptop. Like, this looks like the kind of laptop that belongs to some 17-year-old motocross fan. Look at all this shit. Wow. Okay. Getting that Windows 7 installed. 17 inches of 800 by 600 at all of its glory. Now let's get the drivers on this pig. Alrighty, this laptop's finally done and working, so I'm gonna go ahead and shut her down, bag it up, and go downstairs and deal with some broth. There's the shadow. Puppy or kitty? It's a puppy again! Alright guys. Who's the kitten? Who's the kitten? Hey, who's the kitten? Is you a kitten? Can I get a meow? There we go. Yeah, it's been on keep warm for 55 minutes. Let's go ahead and shut that off, and we'll bleed out any excess. Okay, there's no pressure. Let's see what we got. Oh my friggin' goodness, boys. Look at that juice. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. So that's all the bones that I extracted. That's all the cartilage. There's still, obviously, a lot of shit in there. I'm gonna have to strain it with a screen strainer, which I'm gonna get started on now as I sift it into jars. So let's go. 7 jars of broth out of 2 pounds of bones. You can see the ones that I've already canned and the ones that are canned later. Some of them, okay, I didn't balance out the fat to broth content right, but whatever. The fat will rise all to the top. But what you do now is you take this and you chuck it in the fridge and it solidifies. And then from there, when you go to use it, you open it, you cut it in quarters with a knife, and you use 1/4 in a cup with hot water. Toss it in the blender with maybe a tablespoon of butter, and boom shakalaka, bone broth ready to go down the hatch. Haven't even tasted it yet, but man, my kitchen right now, guys, smells like dinner at grandma's house. Oh, now I have one hell of a cleanup to do, so let's get after it. And just like that, no mess. So I went ahead and threw them there. Come Wednesday, it's Om Nom time. So guys, I basically got everything done that I wanted to get done today. Oh shit, laundry. The video uploaded, made the bone broth, cleaned up the kitchen afterwards. Rex's computer is back to Windows 7 and working good. Yeah, We're ahead of the game. We're ahead of the freaking game, boys. All right, I'm gonna edit up what I have. Go from there. Oh, friggin' sweetness, boys. There's a WWE pay-per-view live tonight. Totally watching this shit. Yeah. Well, I do have to say today was a good day. Got the bone broth cooked, got the computer fixed, got my laundry did, and it snowed a bunch. We removed some snow. Go team us. But anyway, people, I'm gonna call it quits for today. Got to watch some wrestling tonight. That was kind of sweet. But tomorrow begins the work week. Yes, it's gonna be a busy one. Probably not because it's March break and who knows who's gonna show up. I guess we'll find out. But thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, click that like button. Any questions, comments, concerns, down below they go. And until next time, people, keep on vlogging. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.